Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris. This is One.Daily. In today's episode, guys, we are going to talk about celluloid handled pocket knives. This is an open tag started by Patriot Knife and Tool Works. His channel's been around a while, long before mine, but just in case you haven't checked out his channel, please go see his channel. He offers an incredible historical perspective on some of the knives, but not just knives, like other stuff too. I watched a video the other day that was kind of roughly based around the last days kind of the cowboy, like in the 20s and whatnot, and the amount of artifacts and displays he has to talk about this time period, along with great pictures. I think they're probably of his family or people he knows in his family that were around during that time period. But the imagery in it is just stunningly beautiful. He has a way of speaking that is just kind of like a great storyteller would sound, and he's also extremely knowledgeable about pocket knives and shows two or three really cool old brands in that episode, and as well as like artifacts from possibly old like Case family relics, possibly that aren't pocket knives but are just part of the story. And really cool channel. Anyways, when you get a chance, go check that out. This is an open tag. I hope you guys will participate in it because it's just a really good one. I love these celluloid knives. I've been looking for trying to think of a way to show them and what to say about them, in this open tag like this provided a great excuse to show you some of my celluloid knives. So I hope that you'll stick around, take a look, and maybe there's something you'll enjoy. Please do all the like and the subscribe stuff if you like it, but comment about the knives, or let's talk about it, because I love to have the back and forth conversations with you guys. It's one of my favorite parts of this thing. All right, stick around. All right, so the first knife we've got here is this really cool Shapley hardware knife. You can see if it'll focus and we could read that tang. Shapley Hardware Company with the curved logo. In my book says up to 1960, but then it would only be stamped on the main blade, and this has two stamps, which in my book denotes it as pre-1940. So I mentioned, I showed this knife in another video. I've got it open because the punch blade is difficult to open. But all blades have good snap and movement, and it's just a really pretty. I just think that's a knockout. It's got some cracks in there because from the pin, because that's what this celluloid can do real easily. But I just think this is such a cool looking knife. Look at that shield. Shield on celluloid's kind of cool. So I don't know if anyone has more information on this knife. Like I mentioned in the last video, I would love to hear about if anyone knows kind of a more specific date period on this. To me, it looks like it could easily be 50s, but I don't know. The pattern here is actually kind of an earlier, not the pattern of the knife, the pattern of the celluloid is kind of an earlier thing. And it does have a faint etching on there. If I can get it, it's very faint, but it is there. You can start to see it a little bit. Anyway, the Shapley hardware etching is Gee whiz, it's on there. I'm not able to catch it right now. I was able to catch a little more in the last video when I showed this knife. Anyhow, so that's the first knife. You guys have seen it before. I just think it's a really cool celluloid piece. It's one thing I love about these, just like the color, right? Like I love bone and I love stag, but the fact that these colors just kind of mix it up, and I don't know, if you don't appreciate these, you're crazy. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Okay, so the second knife here is just a little imperial. It is an imperial Providence, Rhode Island stamp on there, and I have this as dated between 1925 and 1942. I mean, this knife kind of has 30s written all over it, and this is actually a very nice. This isn't a shell, one of the shell ones. It does have a shield in that celluloid, which was, something that wasn't, I don't know if it was that common, but the transitions on this knife are just like, man, I wish every knife built today could have transitions like this imperial. But very, very nice little knife, in really good condition, and like all blades, just really good snap. And I mean, it's a smaller knife, it's 3 inches, but I just love that celluloid. Looks so cool, and I'm not showing it in the best way right now, but there's just so much character in there. It's so interesting. Yeah, look at that. I just think that's really, really pretty. So that's second celluloid knife I've got here. And the third one is actually another imperial made knife, and this is an IKCO though. And these ones can be really, really difficult to date. It says in the book 1917 to 1987. And this is definitely not a 1917 pattern, nor is it anywhere near a 1987. It is, I think it's stamped on multiple blades. Let's see here. Yeah, we've got the first 2 stamped, and the third one, no stamp on the third one, but all full blades on this guy. We've got a full, well, maybe this spay is a little down, but full sheep foot for certain, and fairly good. A lot left in that mane. No smile there. Maybe a little bit short. If you look down there, it's probably slightly short, but just a cool knife. I love, look at that yellow. No real shrinkage to speak of, which they do sometimes at the bolsters, and no cracks in this guy. And I mean, I don't know what this, like the pattern of the celluloid. See how this one looks earlier? It just looks earlier American, and this looks like 50s or 60s maybe. But if we're going by 2 tang stamps, like on the Shapley, which I don't know if the same rule applies, but 2 tang stamps say this makes this pre-40. So I don't know, this could be pre-40. I don't know. But very, very neat knife nonetheless. See how simple, these are exactly the same pattern knife. They're both 4 inches, and other than the punch blade, they are the same knife. Look like they could very much be from the same period or even factory, although I don't know about that. Okay, so the next one, super special knife. This little guy is just, this is just a badass little 3-inch knife. Look at that. Look at the pattern on that. The stripe, black and gold. I mean, black and gold is, first of all, is so handsome. In my opinion, I just think it's a neat look. And it's a little guy, like 3 inches, like this one. However, I mean, this is a pen knife too. This is a, can you get that? See that? That's a Shatton Morgan. That's a Shatton Morgan with a Titusville, PA tang stamp. And these blades are just, I mean, look at this little tiny blade with a great looking swedge on that thing on the back of this guy. I mean, it's been, sharpened and probably put on something, but just a neat knife. And that shield is just so cool on a smaller, it's just a very handsome little pocket knife. This should have been in my fifth pocket knives for certain, but I was kind of saving it for some sort of celluloid show off like this. And thank Patriot Knife and Toolworks for coming up with this open tag, so it'll get me off my butt and make one of these celluloid videos. But Shatton Morgan, I mean, this is such another really, really cool companies that went out early. It was out of business by 1931. And the interesting story with Shatton Morgan is that Queen City, or Queen Cutlery, was a group of workers who started making their own, they were workers from Shatton Morgan who started making their own cutlery like at night or in the off hours, and they were using machinery and they were using parts from Shatton Morgan. And they started their own company in 1922. And so by 1928, they had started doing better than Shatton Morgan and put Shatton Morgan out of business by and in 28 or 31, somewhere in there, they purchased Shatton Morgan. So a group of employees started making their own knives in this factory, and then basically put the factory out of business and overtook their company within a few years, which, I don't know, that's just an amazing story. I think it's very interesting to me. And I love this knife history, as you guys all know, as I'm 10 minutes into just talking about a few knives. And then the last knife, last but not least, just one of the most beautiful knives I've ever laid my eyes on. This is a Remington R265, and it's a two-bladed jack, and it's 1924 to 1933. If I can get that tang stamp for you guys. God, I'm having a lot of trouble with the there, right? Having a lot of trouble with the tang stamp today. There it is. Anyway, that's a Remington UMC circle with the USA made around it on the master blade. And this thing is so badass. I mean, that's just, for 1922 to 1933, that celluloid is, there's a little bit of shrinkage down here, but there's no cracks, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, it looks like, like an old saddle blanket, probably. It's just so, so pretty. Man, I adore this knife. It could have been in one of my 5 favorite knives very easily. I just, there is a difference between, and see, it's the same frame. I mean, it is the same frame as these two, essentially. A little bit different shape bolster, maybe. Different blades, actually different tools in the knife, but they're the same 4-inch serpentine jack pattern. This is, I've heard, I guess, a 2-blade jack like this from the same end on this frame is sometimes referred to a Texas jack. Am I right or wrong on that? You guys maybe will correct me. And then this is a Stockman with a punch, and this is a more traditional Stockman. But same knives. But this knife right here is just, I can't get enough of it. This is one I'm very, very just like proud to be the custodian of, or whatever, for this period in life, as it will probably outlast me. But This one, I like keep it out just to look at it, and I really should kind of have it put up and have stuff put on these blades. I don't know how to clean this sufficiently. I'm scared to try. It's just an old knife though, but absolutely stunning. And this is my contribution to the my 5 favorite celluloid knives. I have a couple more that I haven't cleaned up yet. Here's kind of just another cool honorable mention, and this is another little imperial that I haven't cleaned up and I need to, and it's small knife, but it's a Imperial Providence, Rhode Island, so I think it's pre-42, but has a shield. It's an easy open with half stops with pretty darn good transitions for an Imperial. And it needs to be cleaned up. It'll get a lot snappier than that. It's got snap, but like I said, needs clean. But just look at the color. Look at the color on that. For like 1930s or even 1920s, you know, somewhere in there. I mean, that's just, I love these celluloid knives. There's no, they're just cool. They're just so cool. They just add so much to the hobby. And of course, don't worry, guys, they're not kept with any of my other knives or anything like that, because they gas off or whatever. But yeah, okay, hope you guys enjoyed that. This is getting long. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Most of all, check out Patriot Knife and Tool Works. He has a fabulously, historically appreciative, if that's the right expression, channel. Okay, guys, have a great day.